I might have a problem.
I will say, though, that sea of purple is absolutely beautiful.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to Country Bunkers Trains, and welcome to the sort of part 2 of our York and More trip. If you missed out on our last video, definitely make sure to go back and take a look at it. We went to a lot of really cool places and just had an absolute blast. Definitely worth taking a peek at. If you did miss it, I'll make sure to leave a link to it in the description below. Real quick, while on the topic of previous videos,
all we saying is, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
I'm greatly appreciative of all the views and support we get here on the channel. As I always tell you guys, this channel is all because of you guys. Looking over our subscribers to viewership percentages though, they're pretty whack. What's up with that? Come on guys, help a brother out. If you are enjoying the videos or enjoying the channel and all the content, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment. It really does help the channel out quite a bit.
That's ridiculous, dude.
But anyways, let's jump into the good stuff. This is the one I know quite a few of you were really looking forward to. Tommy Z, if you're watching, I have a feeling you're really going to enjoy some of the pieces you see in today's video. But yeah, today we're going to be checking out all the goodies we picked up from our recent trip. And man, I tell you guys what, we have got one pile of goodies. This is probably the biggest haul I've yet to do while in this hobby. We have stuff from York, stuff from MTH directly, stuff from our friend Barry up in Connecticut, as well as a couple pieces from here locally from friends as well as the shop. Let's dive right into it. We're not going to be going over everything into great detail. We'll definitely check out some of the engines and other pieces in future videos, in their own videos. But for today, we're just going to check out what we got and take an overall overview of everything. Let's start off with our York purchases. And here is the very first thing we purchased at York, this Lionel lighted coaling tower. As I mentioned in the last video, York was a completely amazing experience, but at the same time, it was very overwhelming. I walked around for 4 or 5 hours without purchasing a single thing. I was just overwhelmed. I finally came across this at one of the vendors, and I've wanted one of these for quite a while, and I said, you know what, to hell with it, I'm purchasing it. I might have overpaid a little bit for it, but at the same time, you don't really see these a whole lot anymore, and I've been wanting one for quite a while, so what the hell, I'm getting it. And as you can see, I did. Now, once this was done, once the wallet came out for this, it seems the wallet never went back into my pocket afterwards till the end of the show. But hey, it's all good, it's all in good fun. This piece is going to be a nice addition to our rail yard / engine facilities that we're putting over here on the second layout, and I can't wait to start working on that. Here is the rolling stock we ended up picking up from York. These 3 beautiful Lionel 66-foot gondolas. These are some impressive and massive cars, I tell you what. Landon, or Nache Trains here on YouTube, gave me a really good deal on the 2 BNSF cars, and I got the patched Conrail car from Brady's Trains, I do believe. The only downside with these big, beautiful cars is they look really naked as they do not have a load in them. In fact, currently the cars are not here with me at the moment. Our local buddy Tom does some really good detail and weathering work with his cars, and I've asked him to work his magic on my cars. He's currently got them at the moment, doing his work to them, and we should have them back within a month or so. I'm eagerly anticipating them returning to the layout. I can't wait to see what he does with them. And now we get to our first engine purchase. This was actually the very first item that caught my eye within the first 5 minutes of walking into the York show. This thing was really calling my name. If you guys know anything about me, I'm sure you know I'm huge into the big, massive, and kind of oddball engines, and this thing just oozes that. It was really screaming my name. But I decided to pass on it at first because, like I say, we just walked in and had so much to see. At the end of the day, I decided if it was still there, I would go back and I would grab it. And sure enough, surprisingly, it was still there. It is a fantasy paint scheme on this engine, but I couldn't pass it up. It's just so striking and so beautiful. But anyway, what is it? It is an MTH Premier Cascade W1 in the Pennsylvania paint colors. Check this monster out, guys. Isn't she beautiful? I think she is. Good old P2 3-volt system. Just runs like a tank. This is actually the only quote-unquote used engine that I purchased. Everything else I got was either brand new or NOS. And honestly, I can't even consider this thing used. At the time of purchase, it only had 16 minutes of runtime on it, And hell, it could have accumulated that when it was brand new at the shop, being tested out or ran by potential customers, or just being on display. So in my eyes, it was still brand new. But yeah, super tickled with this purchase. Now there was one more engine that we picked up from York, but it's a super special engine, and we're going to save it for the end. You guys are going to have to hang out to find out what it is. But for now, let's move on to what we ended up picking up from Barry's. Starting out with some of the rolling stock, we've got this Union Pacific flat car with the 3 trash containers. Really neat car. I might try and pick up another 1 or 2 of these. And then we also got the Canadian Pacific and Sioux Line 50-foot high cube box cars. Really, really cool. You guys might remember these. These 50-foot high cube MTH box cars were extremely popular, and a lot of people were clamoring for them over the past several years, especially the TTX ones. Atlas O ended up picking up the tooling from MTH, and I believe it was just this last year re-released these. I've got those TTX models already. I figured these would be some great additions as well. And just as everything else you're about to see from Barry's, these were brand new in the box, even though they're almost 20 years old or older. That's still crazy for me to think, at least in my own mind. I could never let something go 20 years without ever opening it. But I do gotta say, it was really cool knowing I was the first person to open and enjoy these after all these years. Next up, a big monstrous car. I don't even know if I'm able to pronounce the name right, but the Westinghouse Schnabel car. Is that it? Yeah, what a beastly car. These things are commanding pretty much top dollar on the secondary market at the moment. I was able to get a pretty good deal on this one through Barry, and I'm glad to be able to add it to the collection. I can't say I was clamoring to have one of these, but seeing it in person, yeah, I really wanted to get one. Just as my big 86-foot box cars, yeah, this is a bit big for my personal layouts, but how can you say no to it? Just check it out. Amazingly, it seems to favor our 054 curve, the inner track work on the second layout over the outer track work. It won't clear our bridge on the back side of the layout. I found that quite humorous. But it doesn't seem to have any issue traveling the 054 curves. Quite interesting. But anyway, a really cool car nonetheless. Next up, another massive car. This Atlas O FEC 89-foot 4-inch flat car. Yeah, this thing is a beast. Just like the Westinghouse car right before it, yeah, this is probably a little too big for my layouts, but again, I don't care. It's had no problem navigating and negotiating my curves, and it runs through just fine. I love the way it looks, and I love its size. I'm debating on what load I want to install on this car. I know a lot of people have put those 3D printed jets and airplanes on them and stuff like that. A lot of people put containers on them. Honestly, Tony recently got in some 150 scale bulldozers. I'm thinking those would look pretty cool on this car. That might be what I do if he still has them. That'll be something we do in the future. I gotta find some 148 or 150 scale chains to use. I know I was talking to my buddy Tom. He was telling me he uses jeweler's chain or jewelry chain. I don't know. Do you guys have any good recommendations for stuff like that? Let me know in the comments below. Our last bit of rolling stock is this beautiful MTH Premier 6-pack of Erie 4-bay coal hoppers. Aren't these things beautiful? They're magnificent. I think so. Now, I know I could be wrong, but I'm fairly certain these are a bit too modern to really be prototypical or correct to run behind our triplex or our Angus. But I don't care. I think they're beautiful. They look great behind the Angus so far. I know I really cheese a lot of people off, you know. I'm a big fan of the old steam engines and transition era diesels, but I'm also a huge fan of the modern day freight cars and rolling stock. I like the size and the heft. I know it cheeses some people off when I'm running new cars behind old engines or vice versa, old cars behind new engines, but I think you'll get over it. Just enjoy it for what it is. It's all about having fun anyway. But yeah, these cars look great. And like I say, they look beautiful behind our Angus so far. We did get an engine from Barry's as well. Actually, we got a twofer, as you can see from the boxes here. And just as the rolling stock we just went over, these two are around 20 plus years old. Never been out of the box. It was quite the experience being the first one pulling these out and taking them for their first run. But what are they? They are some beautiful Premier FEC SD70M-2s. Check out those yellow and blue beauties. Cab number 101 is powered, while cab 103 is a dummy, but these damn sure do make one beautiful pair, don't they? Besides being some really cool engines in their own right, these do actually have some significance or importance to me. About a month and a half, 2 months ago, the missus got a new job working for the FEC Railroad. Can't tell you how jealous I am. But no, in my own nerdy way, I wanted to get something to celebrate or pay homage to that happening. I was really hoping to find a newer version, the red and black ES44s, to celebrate that happening, but I never did come across any. When I came across these at Barry's, I just took it as a sign. These were the ones to get, and I'm happy I did so. Some real beautiful running engines. Of course, we'll do a video on these in the future, but yeah, how cool is that? A couple quick bonus items that were picked up either during or right after our trip. We picked up this Lionel Standard O MKT covered gondola. I did some horse trading with my friend Ron. I traded him an old accessory I was no longer using for this car. I like this car a lot. Being a Standard O car, it doesn't have near as much of the fine detail that the higher end cars do, but I still like this car a lot. I think it looks great, especially the coloring. Real nice thing about this car is its size. It fits in real well with the modern day huge scale cars, but it also does really well running with the semi-scale or traditional sized equipment as well. Just a really cool car overall. Next to that, right after the trip, with the Erie coal cars in mind, I was still looking for Erie stuff for the Angus and the Triplex. Picked this car up at the shop, a Premier Erie 40-foot box car. This will look great behind both of those engines. Just a really neat piece. And now we move on to the big stuff, the really good stuff. This engine was but wasn't purchased at York. We'll say it was purchased during the time of York. How's that? This is a brand new engine recently released from MTH. And when it was up for pre-order, I didn't pre-order one. It caught my eye, but I had too many other irons in the fire, so I didn't go ahead and pre-order it. On our way up to York, we of course stopped by MTH headquarters and discovered that they still had 2 of these left in stock. I thought about it, but no, we're going to York, which of course we did. Well, when we got to York and I got to finally see these engines out of the boxes and look at them and just get a feel for them, I fell in love. I had to have one. So, talking with Tony, I ordered through Tony, but what made this super, super cool is I got to go pick this engine up personally from MTH headquarters on our way back down here to Florida. Not a lot of people get to say that. I don't know why. I just think that's really cool. But anyways, let's get right to it. What engine is it? It is the brand new KCS T1 210-4. Check that mammoth out. Isn't this thing gorgeous? Man, I love the Buy War Bonds tender on it. Definitely something a little unique and different for my personal collection, as I do not have anything else like that. But yeah, I love this engine. Big old beast. Can't wait to do a video on this one, of course, just as the others. We'll be doing one on this one in the future, but yeah, definitely one of the cherries on top from this trip. And now we get to the main event, the new crowning jewel of the collection. I still can't believe we have one of these finally roaming around the train room. Oh, it's so cool. But no, I've been searching for this engine for years now. We finally have one. Everybody was telling me, you got to get to York. You got to get to York. You'll find it there. And I'll be damned, we did. But honestly, this is the reason why I walked around York all day for all those hours. This is what I was hunting for, and I was yet to find one throughout the whole day. A big thank you goes out to our buddy Chris over at Chris's Trains and Things, as well as Trains with a Z. After walking around all day, not finding one, I believe it was like literally the last hour or an hour and a half of that Thursday that we were there, Chris messaged me the instant that this hit the Trains booth shelving. I came running. Probably never seen a big guy move so quick. But like I say, huge thank you to them. I can't say enough, and I'm absolutely tickled to finally have one. I'm sure you guys have heard me mention this engine many times in past videos. But anyway, enough yammering. What is it? It is an MTH Premier A2 Berkshire. This is a pretty hard one to come by. I'm sure as some of you know, they only made this one for 1 year back in 2003, and I've been hunting for it for years. Sid and Eric from Eric Trainman have been taunting me with their models here on YouTube, but I can finally say I've joined the club. Now, of course, I say it's hard to find, but this past week since we've been back, just like our Unshrouded J we picked up last year, that was somewhat hard to find. What do I see on Facebook? I see like one or two of these engines out for sale on Facebook. It's always how it goes, isn't it? The minute you buy it, or when you're looking for it, it's impossible to find, but once you buy it or get it, they're everywhere. Who cares? I'm extremely happy with this one. Trains gave me a spectacular deal on it. Not only that, it came out of a collection, but it was brand new in the box. Tony and myself put 3 minutes of runtime on it at the show testing it out. How spectacular is that? We'll definitely be doing a video on this one, as well as all the others here sometime soon in the future. I hope you guys are looking forward to that. I know I am. I'm sure as you guys noticed, I'm sure I'll anger a few and make others happy, but you'll notice no Lionel engines were purchased on this trip. No, I stayed away. There were definitely a few that caught my eye and really had me drooling, but I'm just tired of the self-induced headaches and drama that comes with purchasing Lionel for me. Now, of course, I'm not saying I'm completely done with Lionel or knocking them out. If they make something that I have to have or a unique engine that just screams my name in the future, for sure. But for now, I'm sticking with the stuff that works for me. And that, of course, is the good old MTH PS2 3-volt systems. You can't kill these things, man. They just run. All these engines you saw today, besides the new T1, they're all old P2 3-volt systems, brand new in the box practically. And guess what? They still have their original tires, their original batteries, and original speakers. And they're working perfectly fine here 20, 30 years later, even though they were never used. You can't argue with those results. But yeah, enough of the headaches that come with Lionel for me. I wish you luck to everybody else, though. And it's honestly good for both of us. It's one less person hunting Lionel stuff for the Lionel diehards that gotta have it. And I'm getting the stuff that I want and what works for me. Regardless, though, whatever works for you and brings you joy and makes you happy, keep on trucking. Because that's what this is all about anyway. As long as you're having fun, you can't go wrong. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video on the new goodies we picked up from all the stops we made on our trip. If you did enjoy this video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It would be much appreciated. As always, guys, until next time, my name is Zach, and this is Country Bunkers Trains. Y'all take care. I'll see you the next go-around.